How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Mystic Journeys. Looks like HP's having some webcam problems. Just one moment. Oh, there he is. Hey, HP. Oh, can't hear you. I can't hear you still. I'm going to start addressing the people in the chat here. How's it going, Mike Barball? What's up, Magic David? Mello? Glad you guys are all here. Looks like HP's having technical difficulties. We're not sure where Derek's at tonight. I hope he shows up. I hope he's doing well. I think we're going to be reading from the Fifth Agreement tonight. HP's got the spot. And it's Friend Friday, so if anybody wants to join us tonight, just let us know and we'll send you guys a link. And we'll have you hop on in. David's been a little sick. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you heal quick. Not sick or anything here, just super duper hot. Hotter than average. I keep hearing him pop in and pop out. His little ring in my ear. It's HP. You guys have any big plans for this weekend? Today's Juneteenth. Sunday is Father's Day. I've got an event in Fort Collins on Sunday. Just going to be giving out some green bags, some free green bags, and helping people practice their agar skills in my still air box. So if anyone's in Colorado this weekend, especially in Fort Collins, definitely come out and see me in Fort Collins. And HB. HB is going to be there too. What's up, HB? Is your mic working? You're kind of like halfway there. Smarter than the average bear. That's something I figured out last weekend, Mello, is that I am not smarter than the average bear. They have these bear-proof lockers and bear-proof trash cans, and I could not get into the trash can for the life of me. And I was just like, why isn't it working? Just banging on the freaking dumpster. But that's exactly what I was thinking about. Was Yogi Bear. It was like, want to try again, HP? Oh, can't hear you. No such thing as bear proof. Maybe. I don't know. Honestly, I've never seen. I've been out in the woods many, many, many times in Colorado. We've got bear, we've got moose, we've got mountain lions, and I've never seen one of them up close in the wild. I've just never seen one. Other people have. They're like, oh, there was a bear just down the street. Just saw it just on vacation. But I've never seen a bear. I've never seen a moose. Other people have. People have camped out at 4A locations, and the next morning they see a bunch of moose. I mean, the moose are the ones that will not do not mess with those moose. They do not ever around. You've got polar bears in Jamaica. And then we've got polar bears in Alaska. You live on that lost island, huh, Mello? With the polar bears. How's it going, HB?
I hear? There
Yes,
we go.
I hear
Cool.
you. I hear you.
Sweet. Finally. Jeez. Lord.
Go ahead, get caught up. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. So I was trying to get my headphones to connect. I was having a little difficulty there. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's our 5 Agreement Friday, guys. Welcome in. Say hello to everyone in the chat. I believe Nerdy, you had a reading that you wanted to do as well.
Yeah,
I have the four
somebody,
readings.
I don't remember who, but somebody mentioned the prayers in the back of the Four Agreements this morning during Tea with Pops. And
Okay.
one of them specifically is on page 134 of the Four Agreements, and it's called The Prayer for Love. And I thought it was a nice little story, and I wouldn't mind reading it. You want me to read
So
that
yeah, we'll
before or after the part you had picked out from the Fifth
feel
Agreement?
like we'll just do it after. We only have a couple pages here till we get to chapter 6 in the book. So
Cool.
yeah, let's just read this real fast. We'll discuss it a little bit, and then we'll get into it. 1 second, let me just pull everyone up on the chats here. Here's everyone. David, we got Mike, Mello. Thank you all
Norway.
for being here. Make sure to hit the like. Go ahead and get to the reading real fast. And maybe after the show, we'll watch a movie called. Pardon me for not remembering here.
Yeah, I was looking
Good
at trying to.
luck, have fun, don't die.
Yeah, I was trying to find a location to download it and watch it. I haven't found one yet. It's still pretty
Yeah,
new.
we'll see what we can do. If we can pull it together, we'll watch it here after the show.
Yeah.
All right, so we're on 67, page 67 of the Five Agreements book. If you guys are following along, it's truth or fiction, and there is a little segment here titled "The Third Agreement: Don't Make Assumptions." In the chapter of the Third Agreement, don't make assumptions. This takes us to the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Making assumptions is just looking for trouble because most assumptions are not the truth. They're fiction. One big assumption we make is that everything in our virtual reality is the truth. Another big assumption is that we make is that everything in everyone else's virtual reality is the truth. Sounds a lot like a quote that I say all the time. Well, now you know that none of the virtual realities are the truth. Using our awareness, we can easily see the assumptions we make, and we can make and we can see how easy it is to make them. Humans have a powerful imagination, very powerful, and there are so many ideas and stories that we can imagine. We listen to the symbols talking in our head, and we start imagining what other people are doing and what they're thinking, what they're saying about us, and we dream up things in our imagination. We invent a whole story that's only truth for us, but we believe it. One assumption leads to another assumption, and we jump to conclusions, and we take our story very personally. Then we blame other people, and we usually start gossiping to try to justify our assumptions. Of course, by gossiping, a distorted message becomes even more distorted. Making assumptions and then taking them personally is the beginning of the hell in this world. Almost all of our conflicts are based on this, and it is easy to understand why. Assumptions are nothing more than lies that we are telling others, or sorry, that we are telling ourselves. This creates a big drama for nothing because we don't really know if something is true or not. Making assumptions is just looking for drama when there is no drama happening. And if drama is happening in someone else's story, so what? It's not your story, it's someone else's story. Be aware that almost everything you tell yourself is an assumption. If you're a parent, you know how easy it is to make assumptions about your children. It's midnight and your daughter isn't home yet. She went out to dance and you thought she would be home by now. You start imagining the worst. You start making assumptions. Oh, what if something happened to her? Maybe I should call the police. There are so many things you can imagine, and you create a whole drama of possibilities in your head. 10 minutes later, your daughter arrives home with a big smile. When the truth arrives and all of the lies are dispelled, and you realize that you're simply torturing yourself for nothing, don't make assumptions. If not taking anything personally gives you immunity in the interaction that you have with other people, then not making assumptions gives you immunity in the interaction that you have with yourself. With your voice of knowledge, or what we call thinking. Making assumptions is all about thinking. We think too much, and thinking leads to assumptions. Just thinking what if can create a huge drama in our lives. Every human can think a lot, and thinking brings fear. We have to control overall that thinking, all those symbols that we distort in our head. And if we just stop thinking, we no longer try to explain anything to ourselves. And this keeps us from making assumptions. Humans have the need to explain and justify everything. We have a need for knowledge, and we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know. We don't care whether the knowledge is true or not, truth or fiction. We believe 100% in what we believe, and we go on believing it because just knowing knowledge doesn't make us feel safe. There are so many things in the mind that the mind cannot explain, and we all have these questions that need answers. But instead of asking questions when we don't know something, we make all sort of assumptions. And if we just ask questions, we won't have to make assumptions. It's always better to ask and be clear. If we don't make assumptions, we can focus our attention on the truth, not what we think is the truth. Then we see life the way it is, not the way we want to see it. As we shall see, when we don't believe our own assumptions, the power of our belief that we invested in them returns to us. Sorry, let me reread that. As we shall see, whenever we don't believe in our own assumptions, the power of our belief that we invested in them returns to us. And whenever we recover all the energy that we invested instead of making assumptions, we can use that energy to create a new dream, our personal heaven. Don't make assumptions.
I would also say stop worrying. That's part of that.
Yeah, sure.
And when you worry, you're suffering before anything's even happened. A lot of times, nothing even happens. And I had one more thing I wanted to say after that. What was that last part you said?
When we recover all the energy instead of making assumptions, we can use that energy to create a new dream, our personal heaven.
The truth sets you free. It really, really is freeing when you stop wasting all of that energy on all of that worrying and judging.
Yeah.
And it's freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really all I had was your first point. I talk about there's a song that I love called I Wrote a Letter to My Younger Self. And in that song, that's what he talks about. Like, if I could write a letter to my younger self, it would tell me not to worry about all these things that I'm worrying about because they won't even matter, like, in your future from now. So you might as well just not worry about them now, like you think they will. It's a really hard concept. So I try to think about that when I worry about my situation now. Whenever I'm in a real back against the wall situation, I just think to myself, like, my future self will be like, you made it out. Like, however you did it, you did it. So yeah, I try to use that as optimism to push forward.
A good example right now is I'm a little bit worried about Derek because I don't know where he's at. But
right,
he'll be fine.
this happens every time, but
fine.
I gotta say,
he'll be fine.
and most of the time, what happens to Derek is the internet thing. 9 times out of 10, and then when it's not, it's usually like, hey, I got something kind of came up. So yeah, I do think like that. If you care about somebody, you're always thinking about like what's happening to them, where they're at. Can't help it. It's human nature.
Exactly.
Check on the tribe.
Honestly, how about we go ahead and just go straight into that next reading? Yeah,
let's do it, man.
This is in the back of the 4 agreements. They call it the prayers. There's like a couple different prayers in here. Like one of them is The first one's called The Prayer for Freedom, and this one is called The Prayer for Love. I thought it was
Okay.
really, really good and relatable, and just a beautiful story. So here we go. Prayer for Love. We are going to share a beautiful dream together, a dream that you will love to have all of the time. In this dream, you are in the middle of a beautiful, warm, sunny day. You hear the birds, the wind, and the little river. You walk toward the river. At the edge of the river is an old man in meditation, and you see that out of his head comes a beautiful light of different colors. You try not to bother him, but he notices your presence and opens his eyes. He has the kind of eyes that are full of love and a big smile. You ask him how he was able to radiate all that beautiful light. You ask him if he can teach you to do what he is doing. He replies that many, many years ago he asked the same question of his teacher. The old man begins to tell you his story. My teacher opened his chest and took out his heart, and he took a beautiful flame from his heart. Then he opened my chest, opened my heart, and put the little flame inside it. He put the heart back in my chest, and as soon as my heart was inside me, I felt intense love, because the flame he put in my heart was his own love. That flame grew in my heart and became a big, big fire, a fire that doesn't burn, but purifies everything that it touches. And that fire touched each one of the cells of my body, and the cells of my body loved it back. I became one with my body, but my love grew even more. That fire touched every emotion of my mind, and all the emotions transformed into a strong and intense love. And I loved myself completely and unconditionally. But the fire kept burning, and I had the need to share my love. I decided to put a little piece of my love in every tree, and the trees loved me back. And I became one with the trees, but my love did not stop. It grew more. I put a piece of love in every flower, in the grass, in the earth, and they loved me back. And we became one. And my love grew more and more to love every animal in the world. They responded to my love, and they loved me back. And we became one. My love kept growing and growing. I put a piece of my love in every crystal, in every stone in the ground, in the dirt, in the metals, and they loved me back. And I became one with the earth. And then I decided to put my love in the water, in the oceans, in the rivers, in the rain, in the snow. And they loved me back. And we became one. And still my love grew more and more. I decided to give my love to the air, to the wind. I felt a strong communion with the earth, with the wind, with the oceans, with nature, and my love grew and grew. I turned my head to the sky, to the sun, to the stars, and put a little piece of my love in every star, in the moon, in the sun, and they loved me back. And I became one with the moon and the sun and the stars. And my love kept growing and growing. And I put a little piece of my love in every human, and I became one with the whole of humanity. Wherever I go, whomever I meet, I see myself in their eyes because I am part of everything because I love. And then the old man opens his own chest, takes out his heart, and with that beautiful flame inside, he puts that flame in your heart. And now, I'm going to drink water. Sorry. And now that love is growing inside of you, now you are one with the wind, with the water, with the stars, and with all of nature, with all animals, and with all humans. You feel the heat and the light emanating from the flame in your heart. Out of your head shines a beautiful light of different colors. You are the radiant with the love, with the glow of love, and you pray. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything that I have ever truly needed. Thank you for the opportunity to experience this beautiful body and this beautiful mind. Thank you for living inside me with all your love, with your pure and boundless spirit, with your warm and radiant light. Thank you for using my words, for using my eyes, for using my heart to share your love wherever I go. I love you just the way you are, and because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Help me to help me to keep the love and the peace in my heart and to make that love a new way of life, that I may live in love the rest of my life. Amen. And that is actually like the last words of the entire book before it starts talking about like the fifth agreement and some of the other books that Don has written. I
Very
thought that was
cool.
beautiful. I thought that was
We'll
beautiful.
get into a couple of them.
Very
Yeah.
poetic, and I personally find it very accurate and true.
It reminds me of the story of the egg
The way it
we
works.
read. Don't you really think that's how it works in the universe? Like, if you had to guess, obviously no one knows.
To an extent, yeah. There's parts of that
Like a
that
law of
are
entropy sort of thing. You know
speculation,
what I
but
mean? Like,
right.
eventually everything will become to where all hate and violence will be like bred out of humans and whatever we become, right? The universe in general. And that all it'll be is just pure whatever the universe is made of, energy, 42 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, the law of entropy kind of idea. Especially because in the beginning things were so much more intense, right? So much more violent than they are now. I know it sounds crazy to believe, but
What is?
the fabric, the forming of planets and the universe and
Mhm.
stars and stuff like that is nothing can live that
Things
we
have
know
calmed down
today.
a lot for sure
Yeah.
in the
So that's
universe.
what I'm saying. So the law of entropy,
At least in this
theoretically, well, things keep going, things will cool down and keep chilling out.
part of the universe.
Where are laws?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Don't think too hard about it. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. Because in other parts, yeah, it might not. Our laws of physics might not apply. Things could be totally different. But yeah, it's a great point.
Yeah, I don't know that prayer of love, prayer for love. That honestly, that gets me a little choked up thinking about it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, reminds me of the
It's
story of the egg, man.
it's
We
also
start to the universe is experiencing itself through the
it's a
eyes of itself.
long way of putting WWJD as well. Like that's
Yeah.
that's supposed to be how he is.
I heard someone talk about it from a really unique point of view, a unique perspective that kind of like shook me up since I heard it. We like to think that we're human beings with a soul, but really we're a soul in a body, right? If you think about it.
Yeah, some people think
And
that way.
right, you could argue that. But if you think about how we're always like, my soul is probably like, oh, my poor body is going through this experience here on earth. He's going through all these trials and tribulations. But really, it's not really like that because if you are the soul, that is you having this experience. You are having this experience. It's not like you're like watching over yourself having this experience. You are part of yourself having the experience. That's what makes you part of everything. Just like you were talking about with the animals in the forest, makes you
Yeah.
part of all the dirt pieces on a beach, or all the freaking molecules in the cloud, or on and on and on. Makes you one with everything. Very psychedelic trip. Like
Yeah.
takes yourself out of your like wow, because kind of like we look at ourselves on pity sometimes. So if you think about a spirit, we're like, well, me as a spirit, I'd be able to handle all this. It's like you are you as a spirit handling all this right now as you, like through the eyes of your body. It's just how it is. It's no different. There's no separation from you and your soul. You are a soul in a body having this human experience, and it's all part of the same thing. It's a unique way to look at it, I think.
Yeah, I've heard that before, and I always liked that.
And then do I believe it? Again, like
Your
belief is
soul
a really
having an
strong word, but
experience.
yeah, I think it feels really strong when I feel it and have that thought. I'm like, wow, seems really compelling. You don't have a soul, you have a body, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
Body but no soul. Who knows,
Or
man?
both. You
Could
have
be
both.
nothing, right?
It's the combination of the two. Saber Joey says, Magic David, body but no soul. No, you have both. It's you don't get one without the other for the most part.
Well,
Maybe you do get those.
unless
Maybe
there
you do
is no
get those.
soul,
Well,
right?
unless there
There
is no
could be no
body.
heaven.
Maybe
Yeah,
just a figment of our imagination.
maybe that's what we all are, dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm an optimistic nihilist, because I'm like, even if there is no meaning, even if at the end of the day we die and our eyes close and everything's black forever, I'm still going to make the most out of being here. Like, it's still crazy odds that we end up here. And my life is still just as meaningful here now if there is no afterlife or no soul or no spirit as if there is. It feels the same to me because I'm still going to live my life and do the things I can to be a good person because I'm not doing it to prove myself to God. I'm doing it because it feels good to me and it feels right. It's in my heart and in my soul. I don't need there to be an afterlife to do these good things that are good because there's so many people that if you could prove that there wasn't an afterlife, they would give up. They would stop being kind and stop helping people because it's like, what's the point? It's like, to me, I don't need a point. I create my own point. But I do think that we have a spirit and a soul. And I do think there's more to it after that we die, but I have no idea. Belief is a really strong word for me. I don't use that word unless I like really know. And we talk about our heart versus our head, right? Our intuitive versus our logic. It's like sometimes you need to put down your logic and have a little bit of faith, but for the most part, that can only go to get us so far in life. Yeah. We just have to choose to do things that are right and good because they're right and good, not because we're going to get anything from it. I talk about that with the karma yoga. If you're doing good things here to get a pat on the back from God in your afterlife, are you really doing the good things because the right reasons? You know, think about that a lot. And not saying that you definitely would have people do good and bad.
Sharon says we're dropping the ocean when we move on. It's very true.
Yeah. Either way, regardless.
For a couple generations, they might remember us, but unless you did something huge and you're in the history books, you know, most people are going to forget us.
Yep. It's something that I thought about. You were talking about this with the idea of the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Really, all we have is our legacy that we leave behind. I've been thinking about this with passing of Oliver Tree recently. It's like how crazy to leave a legacy that big, and you're not even but 30 years old, essentially. It's crazy to think about. But don't you think that people who are like moms in neighborhoods who are divorced, but they raise all the kids in the neighborhood, they give them snacks and Christmas gifts and all that shit, like, don't you think they deserve as much praise? And especially at the end of it all, if we're doing that weigh thing, for weighing out people's, like, what have they done? Like, yeah, Oliver Tree's done a lot of crazy stuff before the age he was 30, but really, in the way I look at it, like, that woman who's taking care of all those kids on the neighborhood, giving them families and stuff, deserves just as much credit, right? When you're weighing that scale out, should be just as much pull. And, you know, people who donate their time to helping veterans out, or people who donate their time to helping, you know, unfortunate people who can't afford housing or, again, food or whatever for their kids, or on and on and on, dude. Like, those people deserve a lot of credit and a lot of praise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Day of the Dead stuff, I've been thinking about that a lot.
Me too, dude.
I'm still thinking about my list of 42 things. It's basically, so they call it a negative confession. So it's like, these are the things I did not do during my lifetime that proves that I'm a good person. That's how I'm looking at it. So it's like 42 things that I don't know. I think a lot of us have done most of the things that are on the original list.
Now, this is where I came to my conclusion. I meditated on this for a while, and it's like the idea of this is all symbolism, right? We talk about this in the idea of the Four Agreements. When you start to put words and put it on a scroll and the meanings of it, it's just symbolism that we're giving meaning to it. So even if there are no words or language existed, you still do things that are quote unquote good or bad because we give them those meanings. But whether it's good spiritually or bad spiritually, in the end of it all, that kind of gets like weighed out in our heads. So I think our list would be longer than 42. It would be,
could be,
a million, our whole life experiences, everything we've done.
Summarize some of them into like, I never took advantage of anybody. That's a
Or
lot
like
of
you said
things.
about taking
One thing.
people's
Right.
sacrament,
But at
their
the same time, I think
things
this
they're
list of
buried with, rather.
42, these Egyptians, they prepared their entire lives for death. They
I know,
memorized
man.
not only this list of 42, but the names of the gods that were judging them, all 42 of them, and like what they
Yeah,
did and who they were and stuff like that. So the significance for me to make this list of 42 is just like, what is what's my morals and my ethics that I'm living my life by, and let's put it down on paper so that I can actually say, look, these are my values, and I'm proud of this.
yeah, 100%.
Even if I have broken a couple of them here or once or twice in my younger years, I'm kind of looking at it as this is like we're being born again. I'm like, okay, blank slate.
Yeah, no
This is
way.
your. I'm establishing it now, and I get to live my life by these standards now.
Well, it's the thing. The question I had for myself is like, why do they take this so seriously? Like, why was it such an important thing for their culture? Because we don't even have things like that now. Other than you could argue that whenever people die, they might put something on someone's tombstone to commemorate them, and it might be an idea that they had or something they love to do or whatever. But it's not really the same idea. It's like thinking about the legacy that you leave behind. Maybe even a will and testament. We talked a little bit about that. Will and testament is a little touch of what's going on here, right? It's like, what do we want to do with our possessions, our things? Do we want to take them with us or be buried with them, or do we want to give them on to people? Who do we want to give them to? It's a very unique idea. I think it's
Right.
a lot of a cultural, like, to me, I'm not like, well, they did it because it's the answer of the universe. Like, more than likely they were probably onto something, but it's not the full story here. Like, a lot of it's probably cultural because there's so many, like you said, with the 10 commandments of the Christian religion. But the bottom line is that there's a commonality in all these different religions and cultures where they have these list of things that you're supposed to do to be righteous, to be divine, right?
Don't
To
let
be
me
able to
forget.
achieve
I'm gonna. I
nirvana
would
and
like.
on and on.
I'd like to touch on that. The answer of the universe, because of what Sanum said. Is that 42 same as Waz's profile name? Yes and no. Maybe I don't know. I will get to that. um, uh, there was something else I wanted to talk about first. Just a split second. What was it? I lost my train of thought now. The Wazzy thing. Hold on. Brain fart. So 42, living your life. You know what? Let's skip over the Wazzy thing. I'll get back to the other thing. So the 42, that for Wazzy, I'm pretty sure that it comes from Douglas Adams's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It is the answer to the question of the universe. It's 42. So it's kind of like a joke amongst nerds that like Douglas Adams. 42 is the answer. But the question is, nobody knows what the question is. So if you know the answer, but not the question, what's the point? So this 42 number is all just frivolous, and we're all like, yeah, it's the answer to the question of the universe. Well, what's the question?
And that's
But
my whole point: is life gives you is the meaning that you make it,
I
whatever
think
meaning you want to give it.
that Douglas Adams might have actually pulled that number 42 from the Egyptian stuff. And 42 does pop up in a lot of different religions and theologies and things like that. Like, it is a significant number.
Cool.
But I don't think
I'm not familiar with that particularly, but yeah, cool.
And the Egyptian stuff. Yeah, that's really, really good. I like it, and I'm looking forward to finishing the list. Oh, now I remember now. So the interesting thing about the Egyptians, like the original list, like most of the lists, it's not just about personal sins; it's also about sinning against like society. So some of the things that were like, I never polluted waters. I never,
Wow.
I never wasted food. Things like that. Like, you wouldn't find that in the Ten
Wow.
Commandments. So I feel like the Egyptians, because they have 42, they're able to go a little bit deeper. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. I never polluted water or stopped the flow of water to my neighbors.
100%.
Things like that. That's very, very
And there's
interesting.
two types of people. Like, there's the ones that are egotistical, like, look how many good things I have compared to you. And then there's also the people that are like comparing it to themselves. Like, I have these good things, but I could fix these things and add to my good list, things that, again, that we're giving meaning good to, but things that we feel are speaking in the name of righteousness, like what's supposed to be true. Like you said, big ones like uh, not wasting food. That's a really big one for me. Tons of stuff like that for sure. Yeah, that's the optimistic nihilism approach. Is that whenever somebody gives you the answer 42, it's not satisfying to us. But we have to understand that even if we knew the actual meaning of the universe, we would feel the same way because it's never going to be what we want or what we think. So it's never going to fit our idea. So we just have to get the answer and accept it, be happy with it, and create meaning out of it, like Nerdy's saying with the Egyptian stuff or whatever. I'm a kind of far fetched dude in that aspect. I know, look, I don't really have much of an idea about Bigfoot or about ghosts or about a lot of the cryptids that we talk about. I think it's cool to talk about. I'm open minded for it, but I'm really super open minded to the fact that the Egyptians had some kind of contact with something extraterrestrial because of all of the stories that they have and about the Book of the Dead and these rules that they have to follow and all this. So who knows, man? Who knows? It's really intriguing stuff. It could just all be like myth and story, but we weren't there to know, so it's all fun to speculate, right?
Yeah, honestly, like it's one of those things that I've when I was trying like conceptualizing a lot of this church stuff, I'm like, like it's because of that movie Mythic Journeys. I'm like, I think people can be able to pull their morals and ethics from just about anywhere, any movie or book or story. Everything
So
has morals and ethics built into it.
You sounded like you were giving a sermon whenever you were reading the end of the Four Agreements.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why as you were reading it, I kept thinking I wanted to even make that comment. So maybe new people who were joining in. It's like sounds like he's giving a sermon. This is Mystic Journeys Church. So yeah, it's like that.
That's what this is about, basically.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, even like if you have like a favorite anime or something like that, I got stuff in my own journey journal that came from animes, and I'm like, wow, that was some deep shit right there. I'm gonna write that down.
I know, Dan.
I'm gonna save that.
It's so unique to me because people can really do negative things, and like we could do the opposite of what we're doing here on Mystic Journeys. We could try to get people to steer their life in a completely wrong direction and influence people to do so. It's very much the same way that girl was doing the satanic cult with the Blue Lotus mushroom and really trying to ruin people's minds. So it makes me think to myself, it's like the whole idea of good and evil. Remember, I talked about this with Thanos about how people call him evil, but from his point of view, he's a good. It's just like Hitler, right? They're not evil from their side. They're doing what they think is right. So it's like, to me, good, quote unquote, what I give the symbol of good to me in my head means moving forward in a better direction, a direction that's better for most people, or more better for you than whatever it is you're trying to hold on to, or things like that. But that's a really loose definition, right? Yeah, because what is progress? Like progress could be things that are holding you back, or things that are detrimental in the end, right? Like the atomic bomb. So I don't know. I debate this shit in my head a lot. Like I try to be a good person, but if you ask me if I'm a good person, I'm like, I try to do good things. I don't know if I'm a good person though, but I'm not a bad person.
About what other people might do with good stuff, because it's not up to me. Anybody can turn anything into a weapon. It's not something I need to be worrying about on a day-to-day basis. I need to be worrying about being the change I want to see.
For sure, but in the aspect of you talking about this with the Book of the Dead, it's something you have to think about, right? Like in the idea of the Book of the Dead, you have to be like, well, I didn't use these weapons against people, or
exactly,
I stopped them from doing it, or whatever it is, right? You have to add this shit in your. That's what I'm saying. To me, it's kind of like I laughed at myself when I thought about where am I going to make my list, because I thought about 42, and then I thought about 402, and then I thought about 4,002. It's like, where does this shit end?
What I'm doing is I'm starting with the original list, and there's repeats in the original list. I'm like, okay, well, start with the ones that I just like. This one's just silly, and I'll change that one. And I'm like, okay, or can any of these other ones be consolidated? Well, and then I'm working on it that way. But
it's a good idea. Maybe I should try that approach.
My plan is to share my list on Monday. Okay. It's at 42. I hope it's not too long, but
Yep. I've been working backwards. I've been trying to just like think about it in my head before I look at the list because I don't want to be influenced by the list. But maybe it's about time I need to look at it and really analyze it. It's 42 of them, so
Yeah, 42 is a
trying to
big
get them all
list.
sticking ahead will take a minute.
You
Yeah.
just don't. I figured if we skip the names of the Egyptian judges and what they do,
Right
the
on.
gnashing and the thrashing of teeth and stuff like that, we can get rid of all that stuff. Just
It's part of their culture, man.
go
It's crazy, dude.
go straight to the negative.
What a wild world to live in. I always say if I could go back in time and visit, and you guys in the comments answer this, if you could go back in one time period, back in time to a certain time period, what would it be? And definitely for me, it would be the Egyptian time period during the building of the pyramids specifically, during the beginning of the building of the pyramids to see what was going on, how they was in charge, put this shit to rest finally. Like, you guys won't believe this shit. It was the aliens, or it fucking wasn't, or whatever it is. I'm gonna be like, put this shit to rest. We're gonna figure out who did it, how they did it. What's your answer, Nerdy? What would you choose?
Sorry, I'm distracted by Mike Barabo's comment. What were you saying?
What if you could go back in time to one time period, back in the past rather? What would it be to
Anytime
witness something? You can't
in the
interact with the
past.
environment. All you can do is just witness something happening, and then come right back.
You know, I would love to see some dinosaurs, like with my
During
own
what
eyes.
time period, though?
I don't know. There's so many cool ones, and they're all in different
Mhm.
time periods.
Yeah, you got to
Uh,
hit the Cretaceous. That's for sure. It's the most evolved at that point.
also, maybe some of those giant bug stuff would be cool too. But I don't know. It's hard to choose.
A lot of the Jurassic animals aren't even from the Jurassic, from like Jurassic Park. They're from the Cretaceous
It would be
because they're more
cool to
evolved and
see.
shit.
I would like to check some of Graham Hancock stuff about ancient Egypt. That would be fun. Go
Yeah,
back to the pre historic Egypt.
yeah, man. Who knows what would
I'd,
be going on?
I'd like to see that.
You know, there's kind of an idea, a theory that eventually, if technology moves forward far enough, that we'll be able to go back in time and replay the dinosaurs being here on Earth, just like it was a movie on a screen. And
Yeah,
again,
that'd
I
be cool.
don't know anything about this. This is out of my wheelhouse, and I don't even know how possible it is. But yeah, it's something that people talk about because it's kind of like the law of entropy, like I was talking about. You start from a solid object that explodes, and then if you know where the pieces are moving and the trajectory, the speed that they're moving, you can put it back together without ever seeing it explode. So essentially, that's what they would do:
I want
is reverse everything.
quickly address Mike Barapol's comment. Let me see what he said. He said, "The Book of Dead, made of real human skin." I think you're getting that confused with the Necronomicon.
Yeah, this is on the scroll. Like
This
Nerdy was
is
mentioning, they were
it's
originally on sarcophagi on tombs, and then when mummies were being mummified, wrapped up, and they weren't being entombed, they were just writing them on scrolls and leaving them next to the bodies.
yeah, it's funerary papers and stuff. It's individualized to the individual,
Yeah,
customized, individualized to the individual, customized to the individual. Um,
100%.
but yeah. Before the pyramids would be cool because I want to know. So I don't remember. I think it's Graham Hancock who talks about how the pyramids were built on some other structure before the pyramids even existed. So I would like to see. That's what I'm talking about. The pre-Egyptian stuff. I'm like, I
Yeah,
want to see
man.
what was built there before the pyramids.
Tons of evidence for this. I mean, that the pyramids aren't the only one. Actually, even the Sphinx right next door has shown where they've found it and then built on top of it to try to, you know, rebring it back as a monument. It's the same way we would do it today
The
if
Sphinx
we
was
found an old
buried
castle
when
or
they
something.
found it,
Yep.
and they've been slowly uncovering it. And I'm like, it seems like it predates most of the pyramids too.
There's tons of stuff. If you guys are into conspiracy stuff like that,
Yeah.
Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock, there's tons of evidence on this that it shows that the erosion on the Sphinx is not just from waterfall over time; it's literally from water being flooded around it, and they have tons of evidence for a common impact that kind of destroyed most of humanity. And this is the reason why we don't have much history of what happened during the Egyptian times. So really interesting to say the least, and the evidence is mounting. So it's kind of changing our history books. That's why it's taking them so long.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know, man. A lot of the times in the past are just really rough. Like,
Yes, I'm telling you, man. We don't appreciate what we have now. People always doom and gloom and what was me. We live in a beautiful time right now. This is a
yeah,
beautiful time to be alive. You have to open your eyes. If you don't think it's true, go back 100 years. It was hard to live, dude. Even just 100 years ago compared to now. If you wanted to call somebody, you had to remember everybody's number, and you couldn't just stop at your local McDonald's and pick up fucking Wi-Fi to do it.
yep, yep.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Like shit. It was a different world, and people just don't realize it. It's our perspectives are. See, that's what I try to say. Like the world around us is perfect. It's our perspectives that are really skewed, man. We like to live in a world where we either do what I was saying, we live in the past and we have depression, or we think about the future and we have anxiety. We try to like live in the now.
So, if the pyramids were built by slaves, in some instances, slaves' blood greased the skids that moved the blocks. See, if I could get there before they built the pyramids, bing, bang, boom, never happened. See, and I get to find out.
Trent says here, I'd try put maybe 10 in a category using the four agreements. Having too many agreements with self can get complicated. Good to reinforce the main concept. And that's really the thing. You think these people before they die, they're sitting there with their 42 lists. That's what I'm saying. And then trying to remember everyone. Like,
Well,
I think that shit's inside of you, man. Every
they've been
experience that you've
practicing it.
had your whole life, even the ones you can't remember, that shit it lives inside of you. You can
They've
live to
been
be 100, you're
practicing
not
it
gonna remember.
their whole life. It's just rote memory at that point.
I don't know though. I don't think I really need that. I think it's like somebody asked you, how you are and what you've done. If you could actually remember every single day of your life, you would be able to answer. You know what I mean? Obviously, the thing is we're human and we can't. But if we're talking about going to a higher spiritual plane. We'd be able to see every day laid out in front of us, our good days and bad days, and the decisions we made, and the decisions we made when it's hard to make those decisions. Like we could see you wanted to make this decision here, but you turned this way. Good job. That puts on your weight scale on this side. Here, you let yourself you didn't do your best here. You let your emotions get the better of you. You could have handled this a little differently. So on and on, dude. And that's like I said, that's a little bit too much to put on a list because you're talking about every fucking instance, every day, multiple times a day, everything that's happened to you, decisions you made along the way. And yeah, you could summarize a lot of them up, but it's just really super nuanced. It's kind of a funny idea to me.
Jody's bing bang boom. That's right. No more pyramids. I took care of it.
Yep. Shit, 100 years ago, it was fucking hard to get a refrigerator to store your fucking meat and medicine in. If you had to have it, you probably weren't gonna fucking make it through the winter. Yeah.
Back in the day, I think they used to like have like underground refrigerators that would stay fairly cold by digging a hole and putting a little lid on
I
it.
might be wrong. I think refrigerators did exist 100 years ago, but probably not for like everyone. You
Not
know what I
like
mean? Like most houses probably didn't have them.
I don't think a lot of them were electric back then. Maybe
Just like
I
ice
know
boxes
they,
and
they
shit.
did have electricity back then, but like I just don't know if a lot of the ice boxes were.
Look it up for me real fast. When was the first refrigerator invented? My guess is 18. It's got to be 18 something. 1893, I would imagine. Maybe even earlier than that, dude. Honestly, I'm talking out of my ass. I have no idea. It's just a guess. What do you guys think?
So I'm
When
looking
was the
up
refrigerator invented?
the modern electric refrigerator. So the
Right.
first electric home refrigerator was invented in 1913.
And that was without electricity?
That is electric. That is the first
Okay.
electric home refrigerator in
Okay.
1913.
So before then, they were still a refrigerator, but it was just an insulated box for you to put your ice in, put your milk up and shit. Correct.
So
Or does
before
it not go
that, I
back?
think they were mostly just ice boxes before that.
Well, I think there's a separation. I think it was ice boxes and then literally refrigerators, but just without electricity. It literally looks like a refrigerator. and then they put electricity inside of them. Fairly certain about that, but maybe it's all the same shit anyway. Like maybe it's still called an ice box because it really does the same stuff. Pretty neat. Think about a little over 100 years, dude. Just a little over 100 years ago. That's what I talk about with the refrigerator. It's kind of done a little bit of a detriment to our society. Yeah, it's kept a lot of people alive and thriving, but now we just don't even know how to survive or fend for ourselves without that refrigerator. Shit, half of us would be dead right off the bat if we had to go forage and hunt for our own food without that refrigerator.
And I'm really hoping that Lost Creek camping trip, I find some good mushrooms to cook up. I think that would make it a really special trip for everybody.
Yeah, I got to get some more of those Sawillas from you, man, so we can make some more of that mushroom seasoning. Okay. It'd be cool to fucking offer it out on the show as giveaways.
The only really Sawillas I still have is from the stuff I've been collecting over the years that I didn't actually properly field dress it, if you know what I mean. Like I didn't peel them and stuff. But they're still good. I still use them in things. I for my own personal use. But I wouldn't.
I mean, shit, if we can get like a pound dry, that'd be nice.
Right.
That'd be possible, you know?
Man, I really need to keep my eyes peeled for more Sawillas too this summer. Definitely. But it's just that there's no moisture. It's really frustrating.
Dude, yeah, good point.
Moisture. Santam's making me jealous with all that rain talk this morning. Man, I need some rain.
It's got to rain eventually, right? Colorado's going to turn into a desert out here.
Yeah, it is a desert. Colorado Springs is technically a alpine desert.
Yeah, you're right about that. There's cactuses all out here. I went and harvested some the other day. I'll show you one of them. Spiny star cactus. I got a couple of them. I'm sure you've seen them before.
Interesting.
Just all these little guys at the Home Depot. I'm sure you've seen it before. Okay, and they're spiky, cool. But it's like still soft enough you can't touch them. But
we have some similar native cacti that grow in Colorado too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got two of them. I looked around, didn't see any more, but I know they're all in that area. Cactuses are cool. Keep around. Really simple. Take care of.
Yeah, I still struggle with cactuses too. I just do not have a green thumb. Like, I tend to kill them. I don't water them enough, and then I water them too much. It's like I can't get it right.
Yeah, it's called a spiny star cactus, Santam. You could probably pick them up at Lowe's or Home Depot, but yeah, I could help you out, Nerdy. It's all a matter of getting your soil right. For those cactuses, they're succulent, essentially, right? So you have to make your soil where it's really porous, and you have to water it really wet once and just let it dry for like a couple weeks. And every couple weeks, water it. They're the easiest fucking thing to take care of. It's like a beginner plant. I always tell people, like, if you really suck at growing plants and you're like, I just can't do it, HP, things like microgreens are really easy to do. Simple. Anybody can grow microgreens. Cactuses are really easy. Succulents are really easy. Things like that. And then when you start to branch out of that, then it can be really hard. Like, you got to think about how a plant lives in really tough environments to try to grow it. So you're either going to have to grow something that lives in the desert, like succulents or cactuses, or you're going to have to grow something that's like a seed, has a lot of energy at the beginning because it's trying to live. But most of those seeds will die out.
Yeah.
But if you go microgreens, you're going to eat them before they have a chance to die out anyway. And there's tons of microgreens. You could do radish greens, lettuce greens. What you do is you just put them on a tray with a little bit of soil or even paper towels, some people do. Wet them down, spray them down, make sure they stay moist. And within a couple of days, you'll have little radish greens. You can eat broccoli greens, lettuce, all that stuff. You just eat it when it's really small. And it's called microgreens. Good for your health. Micronutrients inside of there. Make salads, whatever.
Yeah.
And then go out and forage some mushrooms, and you got a whole salad right there.
Exactly. Just cook them.
Saute some mushrooms.
Wash them and cook them first. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And make sure you're not getting any deadly ones.
Cool.
Oh, that speaking of deadly mushrooms, that Rhett and Link was a good one recently.
That shit was really cool. If you guys watch GMM Good Mythical Morning, they went on like a little mushroom foraging thing where they went and made a deadly taco and uh, like edible one out of mushrooms and plants. But that girl was really cool because she was like HB and nerdy combined. She's like a mushroom and plant expert. So
Yeah.
she was like making a death taco out of death cap mushrooms, but she also put hemlock and a
Poison
flower on it that was
hemlock
poison,
poison oak
poison oak.
and
It was hilarious. Yeah, guys, go check out. I want to
deadly
spoil it too much, but
flowers.
yeah, go check it out.
It was a good one.
And they ate it and died. Spoiler. No, I'm just kidding. GMM, though,
Oh,
Good
man.
Mythical Morning with Rhett and Link. It's one of their most recent episodes. Something about foraging for death cap mushrooms or something like that. You can be able to find it.
I think it was titled "We Made Tacos Out of the World's Deadliest Mushroom."
And they changed it a couple of times. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
they do.
coffee.
You gotta make
You're
sure they
right
get the algorithm right. But yeah, so it's just a little preview for the Lost Creek and Rocky Mountain Mush Fest coming up
I mean,
soon.
you got advertisements for that? You go ahead and throw it out, and I'll get your mushroom ready for you.
Rocky Mountain Mush Fest is going to be on July 16th to 19th. For any of you guys that's coming, please let us know in advance. We're trying to get head counts right now to figure out what kind of stuff we can make because we do have a couple community meals that we're making. Kim's aunt is making some stuff they have planned, and we're planning all sorts of fun stuff: tie dye, fishing out of Lake Isabel, foraging. UV foraging. I actually got the proper UV lights today from. So you need 365 nm black lights in order to do the UV foraging properly. Not the 395. You want 365, and that will make the mushrooms and rocks really pop. I learned the hard way at the last foray that I was like, my black lights were just not cutting it. And the person who bought his flashlight from Alan Rockefeller last summer, he was just the star of the show out there out in the woods. I was
It
like,
was really
oh,
cool,
man,
dude.
I wish I would have just
That shit
bought
was
a
really
proper
cool.
flashlight. But Harbor Freight, $7.99 for one of these buggers. It is the best deal I've seen on the proper black light. So if you guys are coming to Rocky Mountain Mush Fest, go to Harbor Freight and pick up your UV light. I would love to take you guys on a UV foray.
Nice. The one thing I learned from that foraging trip, because there was even plants that were lighting up under the UV. Whenever you're walking out in the forest at night, especially because we're so like evolved from being in nature, we can't see anything. But really, the forest glows. It's filled with light, bioluminescent light that we can't see, UV light that's still like radiating. And if we had that spectrum, we would be able to see so much light in the woods, different mushrooms glowing, different plants. That's one thing it taught me. Really opened my eyes up to that.
I got the t-shirt sales link up and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and post that in the chat.
All right. And when you're ready, I got your mushroom.
If anybody wants a shirt shipped to them, I now have a shipping option on there. Just add it to your order. And if you're coming to the Rocky Mountain Mush Fest, don't add the shipping. That can be done for free. Just come and pick it up. But yeah, definitely check out the shirts. And those shirts, all those sales is going directly to Rocky Mountain Mush Fest. We're trying to make it as the best year yet.
All right, Nerdy.
Oh, wow.
Here is your mushroom.
I wonder what that is.
I wonder what this could be.
What genus, though? That's the big question. That's a massive puffball.
It's a pretty big one, honestly. I think that's a little bit of an outlier, I would say.
I've seen some big ones as big as like a soccer ball. But that one's pretty freaking massive. Is it? I'm guessing, is it a Bovista? That's a Bovista.
These are all the same.
Okay, so that's a Bovista. It's at least the Bovista genus. I don't do puffballs well.
It's a Calvatia. Calvita.
Clavicta. That looks like a Bovista.
It's a giant puffball, specifically.
Giant
This is the state mushroom of Illinois, believe it or not. The certified actual state mushroom of Illinois. As of 2024. Um, Most of them are modern day, just names. But yeah, this is from 2024. It's the state mushroom of Illinois.
Calvatia.
Calvadia gigantea, commonly
Calvadia.
known in English as the giant puffball, is a puffball mushroom found in meadows, fields, and deciduous forests in late summer and autumn. It's found in temperate areas throughout the world, and it is edible whenever it's young. Go ahead and let us know what you know about it, man.
So first of all, there's like 3 different kinds of like genuses of puffballs that I can think of. No, there's actually maybe like 4 because there's another one that's related to boletes, but it's a puffball.
Okay.
There's like Calvatia, Lycopterodon, Bovista. Bovista and Calvatia are very, very similar, but Bovistas they tend to be really, really tiny, I think. And then puffballs, they're generally edible, but there are a couple that aren't. But for the most part, you're pretty safe eating puffballs. You always, always, always have to cut them open. Cut them in half. Check for the inside structures of like a mushroom. If you see there's little gills or the shape of a mushroom on the inside, do not eat it. It's probably an amanita. You could be poisoning yourself. Because they look so similar to baby amanitas, puffballs are one of the ones that I left
So,
off of. I left them off of my list of mushrooms that I can sell to the public. When I was submitting my application, I specifically said no amanitas, no puffballs, no morels. I have no interest in selling any of those mushrooms to the public because I do not want people to get sick.
so this is an example of a puffball that's split down the middle. That's still pure, perfectly white. The one
Me
that I showed
personally,
before
I
is
will
one that's
gladly, I will gladly,
decomposed.
right. That one I would not eat. The other one that's all white all the way through, I would personally gladly eat that mushroom, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
sell
here's
it to the
another
public.
example.
Same
Oops.
thing with the
Yeah, I got it.
morels and there's a couple amanitas that I might be willing to eat, but I would never sell them to the public because I don't want to take that risk. But
Right,
for myself, sure, why not? I'll eat some morels. But
right, and
people
same
live
thing with this
tied,
mushroom. It's a good idea to cook it fully all the way through.
right? And when it comes to puffballs, I like to peel the outside, cut them up into nice little cubes, put it on a frozen pizza, put a little extra cheese, and then just cook it like you would normally would the frozen pizza. Puffball
So,
pizza, delicious.
a question here: why, whenever you cook mushrooms from the store, don't they give you a stomach ache like psilocybin mushrooms? Is it because of the act of cooking it?
Well, that's a good question because chitin, right?
Right.
So it's a controversial topic. Those
Hmm.
mushrooms have been cultivated and bred to be super digestible and for so many years. Like these are like the most cultivated mushrooms that we've got on the market. And because
Okay.
they've been cultivating for so long that they've just gotten a little softer, a little bit less chitiny. Same thing with puffballs. Puffballs are one of those mushrooms where it's okay not to cook it. You can just eat it raw, and the chitin won't mess you up. Just
Wow.
because that stuff on the inside, it's hardly any chitin at all. It would just turn into spores, but it just depends on the
So
mushroom.
neat.
Some yeah. The biggest
So you're saying
concern
that? Go ahead. No, go
the
ahead.
biggest concern with the store-bought mushrooms is the chemicals that's in it. Agaricus mushrooms have a chemical called. Let me look it up. I don't want to get it wrong.
Naturally occurring chemical.
Hmm.
Hmm. And then when you cook it, it destroys this chemical.
No.
Ooh.
Let's see. It is called agaricine. So, as far as I know, all agaricus mushrooms, even the ones you can find outside wild, all agaricus contain agaritine, and agaritine is cancerous.
Cool.
So this is one of those things where if you've seen a video of Paul Stamets on Joe Rogan, and he's like, "I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to get in trouble." That's what he's refusing to talk about. Is that most store bought mushrooms are cancerous. and they're just selling them to us, and they don't care because it's easy and they have a high shelf life, a long shelf life, and that's why they keep selling them.
Interesting.
But most mushrooms also have like anti-cancer agents in them too. So it's like, is it maybe canceling itself out? We don't
And
know.
really, it's like, yeah, what's the amount too? Because nicotine is cancerous, but used in small amounts is pretty harmless, right?
Right. It's an insecticide too. Right. And in high
It's very
quantities,
interesting.
it could kill us too in high quantities.
So
Um,
basically, your point is with being the psilocybin mushrooms that they're not being bred for their eatability; they're being bred for their desirability as far as the
potency.
hallucinogenic effects. So yeah,
Right.
because who
And
cares if you just get that little bit of a stomach ache for a little while because you're just doing it for this trip and then you move on with your life. But the way that I'm thinking about it is I'm trying to make it more of a casual thing. There's people that use mushrooms several times a month. And are they going to have a stomach ache every time that they use the product? And how do we get rid of it is really my question. Because if store bought mushrooms, you can cook them and they're fine. Then why, whenever you make a tea and strain your mushrooms, is the molecule still hanging around in there? And how do we get rid of it? And how does the average person get rid of it without having to have a bunch of equipment? It's all
so
questions that I think about.
with the agaricus mushroom specifically, they've done some tests on different cooking methods. Um, the one that actually gets the most agaricine, did I say that? Agaritine? Most
I
one that gets the
forget.
most of it out. It's yeah, agaricine. The one cooking method that gets most agaricine out is boiling it, and then you pour off the water. Just like when they are cooking Amanita muscaria mushrooms in other countries, they cook it and then they pour off the water multiple times, and but then you're also losing most of the nutrition. So it's kind of defeating the purpose of I'm eating this for the nutritional value. Then what's the point of boiling it and pouring it off all these times?
Which is okay for something like Amanita, but something like psilocybin, where it's heat sensitive, you can't really go to a boiling temperature without completely destroying any psilocybin that's in there.
It depends on what your goals are, right? Same thing with like lion's mane; those are heat sensitive, so you have
Mm,
to extract it at lower temperatures. Not extremely low, but got to keep it below 150.
definitely.
You know,
Um,
boiling's too hot.
but yeah, I think for me personally, just to eliminate, like I said, maybe there's one person out of every 20 who gets a stomach ache from mushrooms, but just to eliminate that, I'm thinking about maybe making tincture, straining it completely. Obviously, psilocybin molecules are way smaller than chain of chitin, so
Oh
I
yeah,
should be able to filter the chitin out with letting the psilocybin molecules fall through, reduce it down, and then add it to whatever you can do, chocolates, honey, whatever at that point.
that's what I was doing with my tinctures. That's why I have a winterization kit or a vacuum filter kit with the Buchner funnel. It's not that expensive. You just buy the parts individually. The Buchner
Right.
funnel and the Erlenmeyer flask and the vacuum pump. The vacuum pump is probably the most expensive part. It's like $50 or more. Depends. Like, do not get a hand pump. I tried doing that the first time I tried. It's like using a hand pump, and I was like, this is just stupid. It's taking forever, and it's hurting my hand. I can't keep doing this. It's ridiculous. Do not do the hand pump. It's the pump I do have. It's more like an aquarium pump where it just sucks air, but it's about this. It's like this big, and it's like the size of an aquarium pump.
Right, 100%. So probably like a half psi, or not half psi, but half horsepower rather.
It's just enough to pull the liquid through the paper filter
Yeah,
onto
because
my
you know, I mean,
Buchner
I've
funnel.
been trying to think about how to how to make it better, how to do things a little better. So yeah, so
I think
let's
that's
try and
the way.
experiment and see.
I really do. I
Yep.
think that's the way. Get
So
that
we'll see.
paper filtration kit.
If you guys have any mycology questions, feel free to ask. Meet us over on Discord, and we'll try to see if we get this movie worked out. No, we'll just hang out for a minute. Well, anyway, um,
Exactly.
MrJoy'sChurch.org. I'll drop the Discord link in here for you guys. You got anything else for you to wrap us up?
I'm gonna check those questions real fast. See if there's anything I missed.
Hmm.
Just a couple cooking tips. Looks like.
You got any for mushrooms? What's your kind of favorite way to do it?
Well, the one cooking tip I give out the most in the events and stuff is like a lot of times when I'm at events, we're talking about gourmet mushrooms and we're giving away like pink oysters and like Kingstropharia and lion's mane cultures, but the one that most people they're really really drawn to pink oyster because it's pretty and it's like, ooh, it
Mhm.
grows fast, it's easy, okay. So I'm
Yes,
like,
sir.
the way you cook pink oyster mushrooms is with just some oil in the pan, your choice. You can use butter, you could use grapeseed oil, olive oil, up to you. And then just sprinkle on some smoked paprika. It's it's bacon. It's good, and it will change from pink to brown. Don't expect it to stay pretty after you cook it, but it's delicious, and you can
Heck
make some
yeah.
great like chip dips out of it. Mix it in with some sour cream. Do all sorts of stuff.
Tacos,
All sorts, yeah,
doing it with
tacos.
some
You can
eggs
do all
for
sorts of stuff
breakfast.
with this, but all it takes is a little bit of
Cool.
smoked paprika and some
I
oil.
am I'm starting to grow some now. I got some bags in there inoculating. They were really good. I broke them and shook them yesterday. So
Nice.
fingers crossed. We'll
And
see what happens.
I got some POPini going, so hopefully I can show those
Cool.
off here in about a week,
Neat, man.
or at least
Sweet.
maybe show off the technique for sending it to bulk or something like that.
I think it might be okay because they don't really look that conspicuous, but we'll have to see. Maybe we'll test it out on my channel or something, or
Right.
maybe we'll even make a backup, a throwaway channel just to be able to test content, see what can stick and what won't. If it'll
Yeah, we'll
stick,
see.
then we'll show everyone off. Yeah.
That's pretty smart, Santa. She's, can I grow lion's mane in a bag that's in an aquarium? Absolutely.
Good idea.
Instead of an aquarium, you can just get a plastic Sterilite tub with a lid. That'll help hold the moisture in. That's all you need, and then fan it regularly and make sure that the moisture is on the sides of your tub slash aquarium, whatever you choose to use. But definitely put a lid on it so that keeps the dust and the contaminants out, and fan it like 4 times a day for at least a good 5 minutes. I like to
Yeah,
use the lid for
I would
more.
argue maybe even more than that because the lion's mane tends to need a little bit more air than the
Good
psilocybin. I
point.
noticed whenever I gave them more air, they were less stringy. So
Good point.
that'd be
Lion's
my
mane.
advice. And maybe every 2 or 3 hours if you can do it. Like, even if you can get up in the middle of the night once and do it, then that's good
If
too.
you're growing gourmets, they do need more air. For some reason, we've conditioned the psilocybin ones to need less air. I think it's because people were growing them in secret for so many years that they would just,
Keep them
didn't
closed up.
get a lot of air. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Catan stuff like that too. Boxes to keep contamination out. Makes sense. I'm learning about a lot about the evolution of psilocybin. It's now that we don't need mushrooms to be stronger. We need them to be more like effective, right? So we need to try to make them where they're more digestible. Like whatever trait gets the chitin out of it, we need to try to select for that. Something I'm going to
And
try to mess with and see what we can do.
kind of like that cannabis strain where it was called Charlotte's Web, when they started
Yeah,
like just
further.
focusing on the
Yeah,
CBD, and I'm like, why don't we start doing that with mushrooms? Start chasing
thing
the
in.
baeocystin and the arugacin and the norpsilocin, or try to find another mushroom that's not necessarily a psilocybin one, but produces those other compounds. I've got a couple ideas in my mind, but I'm like, I think that's the way. Stop chasing the most potent. Start going for the other compounds.
I think that as
The
time
entourage.
goes on, we'll be able to get cheaper testing and we'll be able to pinpoint these things a little bit. Right now, the problem is every mushroom varies from mushroom to mushroom. These components vary and batch to batch varies. And you're talking about getting every single one tested and it costs over $100 to get a batch tested. So eventually when it becomes cheaper, it'll be a lot easier to select for these other betas and
Eventually,
stuff like that. Yeah.
eventually. Until then, Triptomics has the market cornered.
Exactly right. Unless one of you guys here is really smart and in college and wants to help us out with some testing of psilocybin, that would be really great.
Yeah,
Test out a couple of strains. Buy one, get one free.
they really do have the
Yeah,
market
but
cornered. Triptomics has got
if
it
you
down.
100%, that's why right now I recommend for if people want to invest in getting a test, what they should do is grow a batch of mushrooms, maybe an ounce or two, grind it all up, and make capsules, and then have those capsules sit in and tested. So you're going to know what your whole batch varies, and then at that point, it's just a matter of the degradation rate. And like you were mentioning, grinding it up is going to speed that process along. But at the end of the day,
Grinding
it's
it
going to
up,
give you your best idea.
I've got mixed feelings about that. Grinding it up, according to some studies, does speed up the degradation process. But if you're putting it inside of capsules, that's going to prevent air from getting inside.
That's kind of my idea.
So that's kind of it's like, which is it? I don't know.
Especially if you put a desiccant packet in there, make sure the oxygen's like sealed off in a jar, whatever you're putting it in. That's what I do. I'll put all my pills in a mason jar like this, and then I'll just take out what I need, and then have them in a smaller bottle, the one I'm opening up every day of the week. And then if I need more, I'll go back into this one, put it in that one. Just like a medicine dispenser. With Monday through Friday,
helps.
Or Monday through Sunday, rather.
It helps freshness for sure.
If you guys need anything, reach out, mysticchurch.org. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow we're going to be covering Tool, Pucifer, Perfect Circle on those 3 bands. I'm excited about this. It's going to be a really long episode because we got a lot to cover. Maynard is a fucking genius, dude, musical genius. And if you guys don't like their music, you've probably been influenced or affected by it one way or the other. So I think it's really cool to talk about. So
yeah.
They're kind of the Pink Floyd of modern day, in my opinion. There really is part of the psychedelic movement. A lot of people who trip associate Tool with tripping, so it'd be a cool cover. And then next Thursday we'll be covering Soundgarden Audioslave, and then I've decided yesterday that we are going to talk about. We're going to do another jam sesh on Riffing with HB, where we're going to talk about the music industry. We're going to talk about the dirt and grime and all the behind the scenes drama of the music industry, and just give my opinion about what I think about it. And we're going to talk about some facts with it too. Other than that, we'll see you guys back here Monday for Mystic Journeys Way to Love Mondays.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Egyptian stuff on Monday, but then I'll do the Way to Love reading again. But I definitely want to touch base on the Egyptian stuff again because I really enjoyed it. But yeah.
Zoe,
See you guys.
Joe, Shannon, cheers. Bye, everyone. You'll have a good night.